You are live! Welcome, everyone, to a beautiful Tuesday. Today, examine. What are we going to examine? Well, we're going to examine the situation that we're in. Because the situation that we're in, or that we're experiencing currently, is telling us something. What is it telling us? It's telling us what we believe, it's telling us what we know. Period. That's what it's doing. The situation that you're in right now is telling you something. Now, when you're being told something, we learn, we examine, right? That's what we do. Because when you look at the situation and you say to yourself, hmm, is this for me? Is this what I want? That's what we do. But as humans, we look at that situation and we get out our whip and we beat ourselves. We chastise ourselves. We judge ourselves. We belittle. We do what we do, all the while cursing the situation. But in actuality, the situation is saying simply, examine me. Is this what you want? You see, the reason why we don't remember is because we haven't always been taught, right? We've been taught that, because when somebody like your parent looks at your situation that you're in, why do you always do these things? Don't you know any better? Aren't you old enough? I've heard that one. Aren't you a grown ass woman? I've heard it. See, they judge the situation. They're judging the situation. As opposed to, hey, what's going on? You think this is a good idea? Is this really where you want to be? Is this really what you want to do? Oh no, we don't even have compassion on ourselves. So today, let us learn the beautiful skill of self examination. We're going to look at this situation and we're going to get out the law. Usually, you pick polarity because that seems to be the one that jumps out the most. Because if you pull out causation, you say, well, I don't know what the cause of that one is. No. But do you know the desired effect you would like? If you don't know what the desired effect is that you would like to experience instead, go to the law above that. Polarity. Polarity clearly shows you where you are and what you're doing so that you can decide where you want to be and what you want to do instead. And after you make that decision, what happens? You automatically, because you turn yourself into a new direction, well, you have to move. And everything moves. This is vibration. So the vibration is either being raised or lowered. It simply depends on, are you facing in the direction you want to go in or are you not? That's how you know if you're being raised or lowered. If you're looking in the direction or going in the direction or doing the things you say you want to do, then the vibration is raised. But if you don't do what it is you say you want to do and you stay where you are doing the same thing, then the vibration is lower because everything moves. And then that is clearly showing you, based upon whether you are going in the direction of or against, it's showing you what is on the inside of you. Thereby, you are experiencing what is on the outside. So then you will know where your mind is and what you are mentally creating. So you see, we've gone all the way backwards. So, what are you going through today? Look at it. Get out your pen and paper. Oh, but that's so tedious. Can't I just, you know, imagine it away? Well, in order to imagine or to revise, you must know the desired outcome. You can't go in any direction if you don't know. So it will always come down to, What do you want? What do you want? So you see, the situation that you're in is not asking you your opinion. It is not asking you, hey, what do you feel about this? You know, this sucks, right? It's not asking you that. It's asking, where are you now? And what are you doing? And do you like it? No. Well, then, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? That's what it's asking. You see, the law is always asking you to take control. But who? You. It is always giving you that control. Say, hey, this is what we're going to do. It is solution based. It is solution based. It doesn't have time to judge you. It doesn't have time to punish you. No, it has to keep everything in order and flowing smoothly. And it takes its job very seriously. So it does not deviate. It does not make time today to punish you. That's not what the law is saying. The law doesn't say, oh, I got time today. No, it does not. It is very straightforward. So if you know what you want to do, right? You know what you want to do. You know what the outcome is. More clients, more money, more friendships. You must know what you want. Why is that important? If you don't know what seeds you want in your garden, what are you going to eat? You see, it always comes down to the seed. So your life is like a garden. I know Forrest says your life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. But that is not the case. Your life is like the garden. What do you want to reap? Then plant accordingly. You notice how they say plant, not wish for, hope for, do. Is what it's telling you day in and day out. And so always start there. And you see, polarity is really, really good at that. Mind you, they all are. But polarity seems to be the most practical one to get you doing something right away. So you see, it. Stop it. Miss M. Listen, you are in control. You truly are. You're not at the whim or the mercy of anything or anyone, even though it may look like it. Oh, but Angela, you don't know my life. You don't know what I came up through. Mm. Are you victim to it? Are you victim to it? No, you're not. You know why you're not? Because the law says, where are you now and what are you doing? Are you happy with that? And if you say yes, the law says, carry on. And if you say no, the law says, well, what would you prefer to be doing instead? Notice how the law doesn't say, well, do you think it's possible? The moment you decide what it is you want to do after you've examined where you're at, you're way ahead of the game. Now you're ready. You're out there plowing. You're digging. You're digging in the dirt. You're ready to plant your seeds. And so when you plant your seeds, right now, we can use our imaginations because that's what we are, right? To conjure up an image and you say, "Ooh," Neville gives you a clue. He says, what would that feel like? What would that be like? Well, you'd be at ease. Of course, you'd be at ease because the thing you want is there and it is natural. Jeff Bezos doesn't wake up in the morning and go, is my money still there? No, he doesn't. Well, he's at ease. He knows his money is there. Same for Warren Buffett. Gordon Ramsay wakes up and he goes, oh, is my kitchen still there? No, 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 no. He knows the kitchen is there and he puts his apron on and he's at it. You see, when you know what it is that you want, because you want to create that, right? You say, this is what I'm creating. So if you know what you're creating, well, there's no room for the anxiety, is there? You don't have room for the anxiety because you're busy putting the pieces together. You're busy creating. You're the potter at the wheel. You got your foot on the pedal and you're pumping the pedal, and the clay moves between your fingers, and it feels nice, and it's soothing, and it's relaxing. Why is it? Because you are creating what it is you have in your mind. You see, when you have that image in your mind of what it is you want to create, it brings peace of mind. Well, why would it bring peace of mind? Because you're not running from pillar to post trying to figure it out. You're saying, this is it. You're creating it. You got your sketch pad out and you're ready to go. You got your color palette. It feels good to know what you're doing. You have an idea for a website, bam. Yeah, I can relax because you know what you're doing. So you see, the law hmm, is beautiful. And even though it doesn't care about feelings, it doesn't care. But its actions bring about something within us. The actions of the law bring about peace of mind. The actions of the law bring about what? Confidence, security, all of the things that humans seem to be looking for. Hmm. So, this is why you have to take the time to examine where you're at, not judge where you're at. Because if you spend the time judging where you're at, you're going to feel really crummy about yourself because you're going to begin to see all of your quote unquote shortcomings. Oh, I'm not good at this. Ow, I'm not good at that. And that doesn't bring peace of mind, does it? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It doesn't bring peace of mind. But when you decide upon the bounty on which you want to partake of in your garden, ooh, tomatoes, what kind? Aromas, beefsteak tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. Mm. Once you've decided, it feels good, doesn't it? Then you start to plan all the recipes that are going to use the particular type of tomato you want that you have planted in your garden. Now, why is that? Why is that piece there? That piece is there because you decided what you wanted to create and you went about creating it and you followed the process. You didn't sweat the technique, you just did it. And how did you do it? Naturally. That's how you did it. But you see, we begin to get all worked up when we don't have a clear direction. So give yourself a clear direction. How do you do that? By deciding what it is you're going to create. Notice again, it's not whether you think it is possible. The moment you choose the seed to plant, it is possible. That's it. The moment you decide what it is you're going to do, it is possible. Let us take a moment to welcome everyone into the space, shall we? Jeff, darling, I see you. Tiffany was here also. Beautiful Tiffany and Javion. Haven't seen them in a while. Welcome, Twitter. Thank you for being here. I love you. Fanbase, what have we got going on today? Miss McQueen, Summer Rose, KZ, Yolanda, Zola. Now, where is Smoking this morning? Hmm. Flo Smiles. I haven't seen them yet, but I see you. They'll probably be part of the replay gang. YouTube and Facebook, Indy, and perhaps Jay and Faye are here in Facebook world. But who's here in YouTube? Andrea, hello. David, Denise, hello, darling. LC, Miss M. Listen, I saw the ticker go up in this thing for the chat, and Miss M says, "Run, Forrest, run." Oh, that's why I laughed because I'm just like, I gotta stay focused. The better man and a not. You are here. Now, for all the others who have not made themselves known, I see you too. So that would be Sinovia, Empress Ella, oh, Queen Marat. I see you all. So, I'm not going to keep you long. No, a girl's got work to do today. Whew, and I gotta stay focused. But take the time to examine where you're at. The examination is not showing you how not good you are. Remember, the law is not judging you. Or as some people say, oh, the universe is not with me today, it's beating my ass. No, that is not what it's doing. We have to get into this frame of mind that says, hello, Yoda Burger, I see you. We get into the frame of mind that says, oh, look at that. I'm in the thick of it now. Well, is this is this where I want to be? Is this adequate? No. Okay. Where do I want to be instead? What do I want to be doing instead? Every time, this is what you are being encouraged to do by law. And like I've said before, the law doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't love you. It doesn't hate you. But by golly, it sure does behave like it, doesn't it? Naturally, it keeps everything in order, in alignment. It governs. And so when it is saying things to you like, is that what you want? When it says that to you, right? Think about that. Like I said, don't be disillusioned that you think it cares, because it does not. You've got to see it for what it is. It simply does a job. And it does that job, and it has no other focus. That's all it does, the job. It doesn't have time to consider your feelings. Can you imagine 8 billion people and you've got to consider feelings? No. There's no time for that. But what is there time for? For you to ask or answer the question, is this where I want to be? Is this what I want to be doing? So if you say no, well, then the law is obviously saying to you, choose a little better for yourself. That's what it's telling you at every turn. Choose better for yourself. Choose better for yourself. Well, we have an aphorism that's quite popular. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Or don't wish for anybody what you wouldn't want for yourself. Glass house. But you see what I'm saying to you? It is always asking you to aim higher than you think. Because chances are somebody said to you along the way, you don't deserve that. Who you think you are? You special? And then all of a sudden, you begin to believe their nonsense. And then you live your life from their nonsense. So are you living your life or are you living theirs? So the law is always saying to you, don't you see that you're better? Aim a little better. Test me. Let me show you what I can do. Let me show you how I can change your life. This is what the law is saying day in and day out. So take up the law, because you know it's never failed and it cannot fail. The law's been here before us and it'll be here long after us. It doesn't fail. So if it doesn't and it cannot fail, then test it. Pfft, Angela, easy for you to say. Look at you living in your glass house. You can see everything from there. Of course. Oh, I can see everything from this glass house. So I don't move too fast. I don't throw things either. I tell you, examine where you are at. Don't judge. Examine where you are at. Examine where you're at. Is this where you want to be? And if it is where you want to be, carry on. Don't beat yourself up if you're going to stay there. That's like not wanting to change but complaining every step along the way. Oh my God, I hate it. I hate it. And you complain. Once you've made a decision, you can always change your mind, you know. Well, well, every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. So yes, you can change your mind. If you change your mind, be the first in line, right? You can always change your mind. Always. Why? Because it's your life. You are the one living it and experiencing it. Make it a beautiful one. And in order to do that, decide what it is you want to accomplish. hmm And see it. See it. Because you can. Now, whether you use the sense of touch, Miss McQueen, if she's out and about somewhere and she's like, oh, this fabric feels lovely. This would make a good t-shirt. This would make a good skirt. This would make a good scarf. This material is beautiful. She's already seen it. Because what? She touched it and she said, ooh, this is nice. I could do dot, dot, dot with this. And then bam, she's got a design. What if you hear? Well, are you hearing lyrics? Are you hearing stanzas and poetry? Jot that stuff down. Don't let it pass you by. Pop out your phone and record it because you heard it. Put it together. Now, what if you're like me and you love the smell of guavas? Well, then you've already made the guava jelly in your mind already, right? So you see, we are always creating, not because we're bored, but that is our nature. It comes naturally to us to create. So use it. I told you guys last night, if you were there for Lance with Gomer, Hosea's her wife, that's what she was, okay? And I said, look at all the things that she came through. Where is Shea Butter? Well, look at all the things that she came through, this Gomer. Well, she didn't hate where she was. She didn't judge it, but she used all those skills in the end. So when you look back at your life, you don't judge it, you learn skills. Oh, yes, you learned skills. Whether it was telepathy, you learned it. Jay, welcome, Jay. Jay is down under. Listen, you have the capability, you have skills that you are using. Skills, focused energy. Mozinga. That's what it is. You've learned something and now you can do it, on the fly. Well, what is that? That thing that you know how to do will help you create what it is you say you want. So let's do the process one more time. You are in whatever situation you're in right now. Perhaps you're in the situation that says, you know what? I would like more out of life. I want more out of life. Okay. What does more mean? You see how vague more is? More, more, more. How do you like it? What more do you want out of life? Well, you sit there and you say, hmm, what's the first law that comes to mind? Oh, polarity. Polarity says, well, what are you doing now? Where are you? Well, I'm doing this right now. I'm not quite happy with it. Then polarity says, well, where would you like to go? What would you like to do? Oh, yes, Jay, we are live, baby. This is no recording as much as it sounds like when it isn't. We're here. Um, Polarity says, well, where do you want to be? What do you want to do instead? You see, polarity is drawing. Polarity is drawing you out. Polarity is showing you who you are. Polarity is showing you your potential. Now, potential energy is just there. It has to be used. So when you say, oh, okay, you know what? I know what I want to do now. Okay. What do you want to do? You write that down. Now, that thing that you want to do, what actions confirm that thing? What talents do you have? What skills do you have? Remember Shea Butter, honey? I just called your name. What is it? You have skills. Okay, okay, you have skill. The Merovingian, right? Use the skill because it's the action that you'll be doing anyway. If you're a poet and you know it, start writing things down. Start jotting your poetry down, Elsie. Start doing that. Oh, and by the way, if you are an illustrator, a graphic artist, slide into my DMs. Somebody in this beautiful friends community needs your skill. So perhaps if you are a graphic artist and you were saying, well, I want to expand my portfolio, I want to do more things with artwork. Well, here's your opportunity. Your call was heard and answered. Now, the effect created a cause. Now you get to act. Hmm. Illustrators, I leave that there. So, you see how naturally it works? We don't judge our present situation. We don't cry ourselves down. We don't moan and we don't complain, but we take action. And the first step is, where are you now and what are you doing? Why? Because if you do not make that distinction, how will you know where you want to be and what you want to be doing? You have to have something. It is polarity, the swing of the pendulum. It is law. So you're always moving yourself from where you are to where you want to be. This is what we're continually doing on a daily basis. This is how creation happens. Move from where you are to where you want to be. You're in your new place, move from there to where you want to be. New place again. So do you see how every cause has its effect and every effect its cause? And why you can't stay still? Because everything moves. It is law. So take your time. Don't rush. As my father says, you rush the brush, you waste the paint. Eh? So be wise with your energy. Be wise with your thoughts. If you're going to be thinking, it better not be foolishness, like, oh my God. Stop it. That is not a wise use of energy because it keeps you as a squirrel or a hamster in the wheel, running but getting nowhere. Allow the law to move you in the direction you say you want to go. That's what we do. And that's how. Oh, but what is a miracle? A miracle is that occurrence that we don't know what to call by way of law. That's what it is. There aren't any miracles. It is a cause and it is an effect. Because why? Miracles would be random. There is nothing random. How do you know there's nothing random? The law of rhythm. Even when you roll the dice, it looks random. But keep rolling, and you'll see a pattern begin to emerge. There is nothing random. Nothing is random. It is all by law. So that means so is your success. Shoot, according to law, your success is guaranteed. Why? Because every cause has its effect. If you keep doing this, the law tells you you can predict the outcome. If you go out on that trampoline and you jump up, what's going to happen? Seems to me your feet will touch that trampoline yet again. And what will you do? Jump up again. You come down, you jump up again, and down again you go. It is law. It is law. So you see, your success is guaranteed. It just matters what you want to be successful at. If you do not know what you want to be successful at, how can you be successful in it? So this comes down to knowing your mind. What do you want? You know, you go out and you're like, what do you want to eat? Oh, I don't know. And what does that do to you when you say, when you hear, I don't know? It begins to make you a little bit frustrated. Just a little, right? It makes you frustrated because you feel like you have no focus. But at least if you say, you know what? I'm going to have vegan, whatever. Cashews make a great vegan cheese sauce, by the way. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. It is tasty with the nutritional yeast. Very divine. Oh, see? Now look what you can plan around that vegan cheese sauce. Because you knew what you wanted. It brings peace of mind because then you can say, that was really nice. I got what I wanted. And then are you not satisfied when you have it? It is your life. Ruby says, I'm so thankful because it was truly been. Wait, let me see if I can read this properly. It was. Oh, you've been looking for an illustrator for your designs? Ruby, seems to me you're not the only one. So now, illustrator extraordinaire, wherever you are, whether you're part of the replay gang, do you see what just happened? A cause. Ruby's doing artwork. She needs some kind of artwork. She's doing something. And she said, man, I really need an illustrator. Okay. Illustrator required. And as soon as she said illustrator required, she created one. So now that effect is a ripple and it's going out. And you, in this beautiful friends community, I know there are illustrators here. And as I said, slide into my DMs so we will point you in the right direction to who is required. You see, even though you may not say your request out loud, even though you may not speak it, what does the law of gender tell you? The minute you have that thought, that is, it's not just this random willy nilly thought. This is what she's doing. She's creating a piece of work. And an illustrator is required. So as soon as she sees what is required, it is projected outward. And because it was projected outward into the womb of creation, everybody has to play their part to bring it about. My part was to announce it to you. That's my part. Now the illustrator has to do theirs. They have to respond. Hmm? So the response, they're responding to the effect, thereby creating their cause. The law is always at work, and you see how naturally it happens? That's what I'm telling you this morning. It always will happen naturally. Neville Goddard taking on the tones of reality. Oh, he said it with such flair, didn't he? But it just means stuff just happens naturally. You put the seed in the ground, it grows. Oh, look, it's taking on the tones of reality. It's doing what seeds do, sprout. Right? So today, my beautiful friends, examine where you are at and allow polarity to assist you. Because even if you don't allow it to assist you, it's still going to work anyway. But you want it to work in your favor and not against you. How would the law work against you? Well, if you don't make a decision, you can't not make one. You have to make a choice. So if you don't make a choice, the one that you're currently doing is the one that will be repeated. So you see, the law is always on. It's not waiting for you. I've been waiting. No, it's not waiting. Right? So make the choice. Oh, but Angela, I'm scared. What if I get it wrong? What does causation tell you? Causation says every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. So you can't get it wrong. You're always going by way of law, whether you are doing it consciously or unconsciously. But what does the law want you to do? The law wants you to use it consciously. Well, how do you know? Because it says the universe is a mental creation, as within, so without. So a mental creation means you need to know what you want. So it doesn't matter how many excuses you think you can come up with. You can't outdo the law. So you may as well align. You might as well align because it feels better when you align. It's more like a hug when you align as opposed to a chokehold. But you know what I'm saying? So allow the law to govern you because that is what it's going to do anyway. So what's the process again? Oh, where are you now and what are you doing? Are you happy with that? No? Well, then, where would you like to be and what would you like to be doing? So if you say, mm, I want to bake, what do you want to bake? See? It's not a, I want to bake. Oh, look, I'll get a new car. Those two things don't go together. They're not the same nature. You want to bake? Get the recipe. Those two things are in the same nature. Oh, I'm so hot. Well, you want to do what? Cool down. Oh, I'm so cold. What do you want to do? Warm up. Same nature. I don't know what to do. You need clarity because you're unsure. Well, get some clarity and you'll be sure. Yesterday, in the Bible study live stream, I was stuck on remembering something, the name of a seed company. And I stopped what I was doing and I said, what is the name of the company? What is the name? And boom, there it was. So be reminded if you ask the question, you will get the answer. Hmm. How do you know? Again, when you don't remember the name of a song or somebody's name, what do you do? Oh my God, what is that? It's on the tip of my tongue. What is it? That's what you do. And what happens to you? Oh, you get the name of the song or the person's name? Yeah, that is law. You asked the question because you had a problem. The problem was you forgot. What was the solution? To remember. Everything works by way of law. Oh, please, Angela, that's grasping at straws now, isn't it? No, it isn't. You were missing something. But as we know with law, there can be no holes. Cause, effect. You can't have a cause without the effect. You can't have an effect without there having been a cause. So there are no voids. So if you say, I don't know what this is, ask. And as soon as you ask, give it a moment. Sometimes it may take a day. You know, you're in the shower and then boom, there's the answer. You're like, wait, what did that come from? Didn't I ask this yesterday? 2 days ago? But the answer is there. Always it is. So if you say, you know what, I don't know what my best course of action should be. I don't know. Because I really want to accomplish this thing, but I don't even know where to begin. So what do you want to know? What is the best course of action? Where do I begin? Ask. It is law that you're using every time you do it. So you see, you're never at the mercy of not knowing. Take your time and examine where you are. You know, the medical field will tell us to do self-examinations. You know what I'm talking about, right? But that's just your body. Your mind? Come now. You have to examine the mind. Is that thought yours, or is that thought a projection from the collective? Hmm. See how it works? Then you examine. Don't just run off willy-nilly and no. Gather yourself and become clear because your success is guaranteed. Guaranteed. Oh, I forget the musical that was from. Oh, probably The Princess and the Frog. But you hear what I'm saying to you today? Clearly, I love movies, yes? And I remember particular lines. I know. Anywho, take your time today and examine the current situation you are in and decide if it is worthy of you. Decide whether or not it is worthy of you. And if it isn't worthy of you, what is? And get out polarity. Where are you now, and what would you like to be doing? Where would you like to be, and what would you like to be doing instead? Easy. Well, the law really isn't complex, you know. It says cause, effect, in, out. As above, so below. It says, projected, it goes into the womb, and it comes back with an experience. Hmm, pretty simple. But, you know, us humans, according to Confucius, he says we humans like to complicate things. The law is simple and easy to use. It's just a matter of, are you going to practice? Every day that you get up, you're practicing the law. Do so consciously. That is what I will leave you with today. Countdown initiated. Twitter 5. Hey, love troll. Hi. I haven't seen you in a little bit. Yoda Burger, I see you too. Thank you all for being here, Jeff and Cuddles and Lilith. I see you all. Tiffany, the replay gang. Twitter, thank you. I love you all, and I will see you soon, Twitter. Oh, remember tonight, Twitter, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to hit the bowl. Yes, we are. I'll see you there. I love you, Twitter. Twitter is closed. Fan base. Are we on 3? Yes. 3. Flo Smiles. Miss McQueen, Summer Rose, Yolanda, Zola. I see you. I see you. And again, we've missed our smoking today. Yeah, we missed him today. Slide into his DMs and say, hey. That's what we do. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for the love. And KZ, yep, I'll see you tonight. And so now you know where to find me on YouTube and Facebook to catch the last remnants of gravy from the bowl. Where is Cyber? I love you. Peace out, fan base. Fan base is closed. Hey, Facebook. Hey, YouTube. Just you and I. It's just us, y'alls. Oh, that means I can go into the chat. I can go into the chat on my iPad. So, thank you all for being here this morning. Oh, Jay and Denise, oh, you are so welcome. We always kick around. Hey, Zola, we always kick around for a couple more moments. You know, the last remnants of gravy from the bowl. But I just want to encourage you today. You have it. You have it within you. Well, how do you know you have it within you? As within, so without. That is how you know you have it within you. Why? Because whatever is inside comes out. What's inside the lemon? Oh, lemon juice? We can make lemonade. Oh, indeed. Can't squeeze that lime and get orange. No, no, no. As within, so without. So that means you have it within you. And if you think you don't have it within you, you can use the law of gender and project it into your own self. Neville Goddard calls it self impregnation because you're taking it from your conscious to the womb of your subconscious mind. That's how. So you see, your success, my success, is guaranteed. And do we remember what success means? The realization of a worthy ideal. Huh? It means you said, I want to do this, and you did it, then you were successful. I'm going to polish my shoes today, and you did. You were successful. I'm going to mow the lawn today, and you did. You were successful. I'm going to bake cookies today. And you did. You were successful. That is what success is. But we've allowed ourselves to fall prey to success, meaning something else. Cars, money, women, men, shoes. That's not success. Those are things. Do you see the difference? Those are things. Success is I'm doing this and I did it. Success has to do with action. Jay, what a beautiful question. Now, I'm going to read it to you. So, if messed up things are on the outside, the inside is messed up. You see that word messed up? It is a judgment. Because when you hear it and you say it, you're like, oh man. So does that mean I'm messed up? Like it does something to you. But if you examine it and you look at it the way you should look at it, which is, that is not quite what I wanted to experience. So then you go back inside your mind and you say, what would I like to experience instead? That's what you do. Because the outside, you have to see what is on the outside to know what's on the inside. And vice versa. If you know what's on the inside, you can tell what's going to be on the outside. This is why you reap what you sow. So when you're looking at what you see on the outside and you think it is messed up, that is a judgment and it will make you feel crummy. But if you look at it and you say, oh, I see what's going on here. I'm not keen on that expression. So that's the effect. What effect would I prefer instead? And you begin by seeing it. What's the new thing you want to have on the outside? Then you start to behave, which is the cause. You see that new thing in your mind. Oh, that's what I want. Like if you got the wrong color, you're like, oh, shoot, I wanted blue. And I got green. You don't rip the green to shreds. You go back to the source where you got it and you exchange it. It is very practical. Jay, does that make sense? We look at the outside because sometimes we forget what we've planted. Sometimes we do. And you don't know until you see it. You see it, you're like, oh, snap. Oh, I did that. Yikes. Right? Because that's what happens. We're so busy planting all the time, you don't always keep track of what you planted until you see the fruits of your labor. And then you say, oh, snap, this will not do. I don't want to reap that harvest again. So what do? Plant different seeds, a different cause. As within, so without. That's why we use the outside on those rare cases that we forget what we've planted on the inside. Because remember what the law says, you know the cause, you can predict the effect. So if you know what is on the inside, you can predict what you will reap. When you planted raspberries, you can't get corn. Because if corn grows, then you planted corn. Does that make sense? So I know it seems like, but that gardening analogy has nothing to do with my real life experience. Well, then the real life experience, what is it? Look at it, examine it. So if you say, you know what, I want a new job. And what do you want? You want a job. Doing what? You see? Where are you now? What are you doing? What do you want? And what do you want to be doing? So you don't have a job. So you're doing nothing. You want a job. What kind of job do you want? Because you must be able to name that job that you want so that you can say, well, these are the things I want to be doing, because the things that you are doing will match the job you say that you want. You see, the law will always make you clear. Well, it does not like vague things. It doesn't know what to do with vague things. So you'll get something vague back. You want clarity. So I trust that makes sense, Jay. Just, yeah. Ah, Jay, because cause and effect, that is law, causation. You see, because I know these things, I have to remember not everybody does. Denise, because it is simple. It is. It's just that sometimes we get discouraged and we forget that the law always works. We get discouraged, Denise, because things aren't moving fast enough. We get discouraged sometimes when, but that's not what I wanted. Why am I still in this situation? You know what I mean? Yes, Jay, staying calm amidst the storm can be tough. Of course, it's a storm, right? It's a storm. But then you got to remember to anchor yourself. And the law does that. The law will anchor you. So, what are the laws? There are 7 principles that govern all creation, whether here or there. All creation is governed by these 7 principles. It doesn't matter what quote unquote extraterrestrial being we encounter, they are also governed by the same laws. What are those laws? The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation, mentalism. And then we have correspondence. As within, so without. As above, so below. Then we have vibration. Everything vibrates. Nothing stands still. Now, where does it vibrate? It vibrates between what? 2 poles, polarity. A left side and a right side. So you're moving from to. That's where it's moving. From to. And those things that are moving, they will begin to move in a rhythm. That's the law of rhythm. What's rhythm? Night and day, winter, spring, summer, fall, menstrual cycles, high tide, low tide. That's rhythm. You know, the beat of the drum, rhythm, because it has a time that you can measure. It's 4/4 time, right? Rhythm. You can count the beats, rhythm. And then you have causation. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. You know, you jump up, well, then you will fall down. And then we finally have the law of gender. Now, you see, we get this one confused and we think it means boy, girl, man, woman. No, 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 no. Gender. You have a thought, you project it outward. So the projected thing is masculine. But you see, that projected thing has to be accepted and go somewhere in the womb of creation, subconscious mind. So then when you put it in the womb, what happens? Life comes out? Indeed. So now, if you use the law of correspondence all the way back at the top, right? That correspondence will tell you because it says as above, so below. So if you can mentally impregnate yourself, well, we are physical beings, then we can physically be impregnated or physically impregnate. But there's always going to be a masculine and a feminine. Yes. David, yes. If someone is living under a bridge, meaning you are homeless, you are in transition from one place to the next, well, then you have to assess where you are in order to move faster from there because it's not a pleasant thing to experience, right? Why are you there? What happened? Because polarity is going to ask you, where are you now? What are you doing? Well, I don't have anywhere to live. I don't have a fixed abode. And here's what I'm doing. I'm doing this, 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 and this. So you have to get honest with yourself. What's causing you to be there? If it was just, well, the rental market is insane and whatever the case may be, and I didn't plan ahead enough or whatever, something happened and you ended up that way. So you want to have a new place to live. What do you need to do? If there's an addiction you need to clean up, start there. Because you can walk into the shelter and say, hey, I need to clean this up. Where can I go? And they'll have somewhere for you to go to get well. Same thing, if you need a job, you walk in there because that's your point of contact at street level, right? That's your point of contact. You go in there and you say, listen, I lost my job and I ended up here. Here are my skills. Do you have a job board that we can look at? Like, you know what I mean? They have access to computers there that you can use. There's always going to be that. That's the first point of contact. So now if you go and you peruse the jobs that you say you're looking for because you know what your skills are, now you're more clear. You say, all right, next thing you know, you have an interview. But what if you don't have adequate clothes to wear? You don't have a place to shower. The shelter will assist, right? So all of those steps are necessary. Look at all these stars that said they lived in their cars for the longest time while they were trying to make it. They made a conscious choice to do what they did. Consciously they did it. But if unconsciously things just unfolded and you ended up, I can kind of sort of speak to that because I remember what it was like. Huh. I remember when our lease expired and I just presumed. I presumed, oh, my dad will help me. I can, no. I ended up staying with family. And then that came to an end. And then I ended up in a hotel until I found where we were. All right. So, all of that time dealing with a health issue, a critical one, right? I've seen the back of an ambulance more times than I care to admit. But you see, things, you deal with things when they're small, they don't escalate. Mm. When I tell you glass house, I'm serious. So, those are the things, David. I hope that answered your question. But we're never stuck, right? Jay, how does one clean up a nicotine addiction or smoking? Where's Queen Marat? Queen Marat successfully did this. So you start with cause and effect. The effect is you would like to be free of the addiction. Oh, there's somebody else here who can help with that too. Text me. I'm not going to call your name. If you're still here, text me because you know they're very skilled in this. Um, when you are smoking, you're doing something, right? You're doing something. You don't want to do that anymore. You have to replace it with something else. So if you're not going to smoke anymore, what do you want to do instead? That's what you have to get up and do on a daily basis. Even though, see, I've never gone through a craving or a withdrawal from an addiction, right? I have not. But I will say to you, if you apply the law to it, you can overcome any situation. I'm giving you the theory and you're going to put it into practice. So if you say you don't want to smoke anymore, what do you want to do instead? David, so because you stop cold turkey and you don't smoke anymore, what do you do instead? See, David and Jay can have this conversation. I didn't want to say anything, David. I didn't want to call your name. If anybody else in the chat who's ever been through an addiction, who can give the practical side of things, hop in here and let's talk about it. Because we're going to apply both sides so that Jay can see the full 360. Because you're not alone, Jay. Queen Marat also did it. She said she was going to go to the gym instead. So she started working out instead of smoking. So the thing that you want to do that is new, that is going to have to be the bigger pull. That has to be stronger because it will keep you smoke free. Ah, Ruby, see, Jay, this community always comes together beautifully. So, Jay, where are you now, smoker? And you're smoking how many cigarettes a day? We don't know, but that's what you're doing. So now the other side of polarity says, where do you want to be? Smoke free. You don't want to smoke anymore. So it's asking you, what do you want to do instead? And yes, the craving will be there, but then pay attention to that craving. What is the cause of you going out to smoke? What's the cause? Something happens, whether you see, because the craving remains. That's the thing with a habit, right? A habit must be fulfilled. We're only ever a series of habits. So this is an undesirable habit that you say you want to relieve yourself of. So what is a desirable thing you would prefer to do? And because when that craving comes, right? Because you're so used to going out and doing it, you have to disrupt that rhythm of going out there. So if you don't want to go out there and do it, what do you want to do instead? Because you're going to have to replace it because you don't have voids, remember, cause effect. You don't have a void. Even for the ones who stopped cold turkey, you still replaced it with something else because you don't do that anymore, but you do something else that is more beneficial to you. Jay, what does that feel like to you? Because you won't know until, listen, the thing with smokers, right? They say, well, I've tried so many times. It's okay. You don't beat yourself up if you go back. Look at the distance between. Use the logarithm. How many times did you go back? Is the distance between clean and smoker, is it getting wider? So if it is getting wider every time you do it, that means you are progressing in the correct direction. Does that make sense? Ruby, let's read what Ruby has to say. Jay, because she's talking to you. Finding something to focus on each day. You focus day to day. You don't beat yourself up if you slip. See, she's speaking from experience, right? And so the way to become more successful is to apply the law. You see, absent mindedly is exactly what I want you to understand. You've been doing it for so long. It is a habit, it is a rhythm. It's a rhythm. You will know a man by his habits. Alan Watts. So, because there's that rhythm there, you've got to disrupt the rhythm, right? Because the rhythm is always going to happen. Rhythm is going to get you, right? That's the song. Exactly. Absent mindedly. I like that choice of words because it is showing you that there's a neural pathway that has been set down because of the habit. So it's just something that you do now. You don't even know why you do it anymore, right? But now that you know that, how did you make the habit? By doing it over and over and over again until it became absent minded. So the new behavior that you have to do it over and over and over until it becomes absent minded. But you can speed it up. Yes, David, focus on being healthy. You can speed that up. How can you speed it up? You speed it up by recognizing, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. No, 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 I'm not going to do this anymore. What do I want to do instead? You know what? I want to be healthy because this is what David is telling you. I want to be healthy. That's my desire. Begin to see yourself as healthy. Now, what can you do as a non smoker that you can't do as a smoker? Running up the stairs, perhaps. Anything that exerts the lungs, taking a deep breath, not having the smell of smoke in your clothes. Now, if you use your imagination, because remember when I remember when I was transitioning from one place to the next. Begin to speak to yourself in such a way. Oh, I remember when I asked Angela about quitting smoking. Seems like such a long time ago. Begin to see yourself doing other things instead of. And yes, it seems daunting. It always does. And this is why you can't beat yourself up. You look at it and you say, you know what? I'm done. Here are other things to help. There are hypnosis meditations that assist, right? Because if you say, look, I want to do this and I want to do this quickly. What's the best and fastest way to stop? Oh, just like you don't remember the name of the song, what's the fastest way to stop? What's the fastest way to getting and living my healthy lifestyle? What's the best and fastest, most productive way? And because you ask that question, you will get a response and you'll be led to do something. You'll be going somewhere, you'll see something or somebody will say something and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, what a coincidence." So you see, Jay, you don't have to stay that way. And the law will help you every single time. That's why it's there. You just have to use it to your advantage. David says he remembers the pain from coughing and trying to catch his breath because he was running, right? See? We remember. And that's the thing with habits and the neural pathway that's been set down. That neural pathway doesn't go away, but you can bury it by doing something else. Yes. J, progressive release. Reverse your steps. Yes, look to other things. And the other thing would be health. Because if you think about it, look at polarity. Smoking is unhealthy. So what do you want? Health. You see, same in nature. So what activities would denote your health? Ruby, take over the chat, honey. It is okay. This is, listen, this is the beauty of the community we are a part of. We come out and we support each other, we help each other through. I'm so pleased. Ah, yes, I'm reading Ruby. She says she created a smoking detour to something else. You see how you're using the law? You're taking yourself from where you are and you're pointing yourself in the direction of where you say you want to be. That is law. You are disrupting the rhythm because smoking is a rhythm, it's a habit. So look at how you're using one law against the other. Look at it. This will help you accelerate your success. So you see the rhythm. Rhythm is influenced by what? By the swinging of the pendulum in polarity. So where are you now? Where do you want to be? So in order to decide where you are and where you want to be, you've got to move in the direction you want to be. Whose movement? Vibration is movement. So you have to raise your vibration. And you raise your vibration by pointing yourself in the direction you say you want to go. So if you say, oh, I don't do that anymore, I do this now, you've raised your vibration. And that vibration is going to be influenced. That vibration is going to be influenced by what? What is within you. The desire to be healthy is within. So you must experience health on the outside. Why? Because you're mentally creating health. See how you're using the law? And Jay said, reverse. But that's exactly what you do. So, Jay, do you see how you've been using the laws and you didn't know? Now that you know, you will add jet fuel to your changes because you know you're successful. You know that you are. How do you know? Because you've named the effect you desire to have instead. And because you've named that desire, the cause will appear and you will do it. You'll do it because you are already doing it. The fact that you've decided to, once you decide to do something, everything bends now and reshapes itself to what you say you want. Denise, I have a family member that goes through depression at times. Does it work the same way? But of course. Now, I have to say a disclaimer. I must. I'm not an MD, I'm not a medical doctor, right? So, you want to take these things into account. If your doctor has put you on medication, let me tell you right now, you don't just stop taking that. That's one of the first things we learned in in class. You cannot just stop taking medication because it puts the body into shock. And that shock, well, may not end well. So consult your physician or your pharmacist and discover how you can wean yourself. But it must be guided by your healthcare professional. Why? Because the body will behave in a particular way if you do something drastic to it. When you have those kinds of drugs that you're taking, it let me tell you, I've seen it. So that's why I say I understand. So if they're on medication, you got to deal with that. So that's my disclaimer. But yes, it is the same process. Creation is always going to be the same. You're not destroying anything, you're creating a new way to live. So why is the depression there? What are you holding on to? Because you're staying in the same place, right? We're staying in the same place. You've got to disrupt the rhythm of depression. Manic depressive or bipolar, they call it. There's a you can see when the next part is coming. You can see when you go from the mania to the depressed state. You can see because the rhythm is clear. So this is why having that one-on-one guided assistance by a healthcare professional that you trust is going to help you. So you can see it and now you can apply the law to whatever that situation is. So if your healthcare professional says to you, okay, look, you got to get out and do more things. Take this, it'll help you lift your mood, whatever they tell you. Okay, begin to get out and do things. Begin to ask yourself, well, what do I want to do? I don't want to just sit here all the time. I don't want to lay here all the time. You have to get up and do something. So if now your space is a mess, because sometimes that happens, if the space is a mess, begin there. Choose the smallest mess to tidy up. The smallest one, because you got to start somewhere. That's what you do. So Denise, if you know that their space is messy, suggest that. Hey, start with the smallest thing. Get a box and put shredding on it for writing. So all your documents that you want to get rid of, shred. Put them in that box because that box will have its own space. You have laundry to wash or put away, clean that up. Because something happens if you tidy up your space that you are in, everything has its place. If you do that, it frees up the mind. Because clutter, clutter on the outside will clutter up your mind. But that outside is a reflection of what's going on. Okay, good. They're not a medication. Start inside the house. Wherever there's mess, start there. You see, because now you need a new rhythm. Go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time. Set a rhythm. Why rhythm? Rhythm brings peace of mind because things are predictable. So if you say, you know what, look, this time of day I start to feel really low. I don't think I've gone through depression, so I can't. I don't have an experience to draw from, but I have been sad. I don't know if that's the same thing. I want to be respectful of everybody's situation, right? But I will say this: do the things that make you happy. That's also step two. So you tidy up your space, you set a schedule for when things will happen. Rhythm is really important. Rhythm brings calm and it brings peace of mind because you can predict what is going to happen. So set a rhythm. Every Monday is this. Every Tuesday is this. Every Wednesday is this. Set a rhythm. And you see, it's bite sized. So Mondays, you can do this. Get it done on Mondays. Make sure it's done on Monday because you have to follow through. And you'll begin to feel better because you're in the direction. You're moving in the direction of where you say you want to go. Because when you're depressed, you don't do things. So to go in the other direction to raise your vibration, begin to tidy up. Begin to set a schedule. Denise, does that help? Let me know. Jay, so healthier would mean moving more. Water, a detour, disrupt, interrupt, refocusing away from, or better stated, refocusing to a wanted. Yes, always put your eyes in the direction that you want to go in. Jay, if you ride a bike, if you drive a car, is that not the practical advice? Wherever you are looking is where that vehicle is going to go. It doesn't just work for cars and bikes and mopeds and scooters. It works in your life. Yes, decluttering and cleaning are different activities. Yes. But when you do them both, you'll get a good result. Indeed, Jay. Beautiful. Thank you. But that's what we do, right? You disrupt the rhythm that is already there by setting a new rhythm. Always point yourself in the direction of where you want to be instead of looking back at where you don't want to be. Why? Because if you look back, well, that's the direction you're in. So if that's the direction you're in, that's the direction you will go in. Right? And Denise, also, I must say this too. If you make suggestions and they are not accepted or they're not followed through on, be gracious and teach them to be gracious with themselves also. Because if you beat yourself up and you feel like crap, hmm, you'll stop your forward progress because you feel bad. So begin to celebrate your little successes. Oh, they're not little. They seem little. But remember what success means. Success means you have accomplished what you said you were going to accomplish. So if you say Monday, I'll declutter this area, and you've got it done on Monday, throw the confetti. Well, shoot, virtual confetti because you don't want to have to clean that up, right? I'm just saying. But that's what you do. You celebrate those because you did it. You said and you did it. So even if you said you were going to do it and you got halfway through, did you not get halfway through? Yes. So what if you said I'm going to do it on Monday, but Monday rolls around and you're like, I can't. Get up on Tuesday. Get up on Tuesday and see what happens. You see, the law of vibration is such that if you have to have that burst of energy, and that's why I say you can use your anger and you can use your frustration. If you look at that cluttered corner and it just makes you angry, you're like, ugh, and you clean it up, you just raised your vibration. Did you not? Think about it. You got mad when you looked at that corner, you're like, "Rah," and you just, you were like the Tasmanian devil. Hey, Jay, right? And you cleaned it up. Yeah, you cleaned it up. You lit up. Yeah, you just got fired up, and you moved yourself, and you did it. That's how you can use your emotions to move yourself into the desired action. You have to use everything at your disposal, and emotions are one of them, right? Because if you keep looking at the clutter in the corner and it makes you mad, remember the law of gender, you're going to project that anger out. So just use it to tidy up the space instead of projecting it onto someone else. I don't know. Does that make sense? Man, y'all are awesome. You guys are awesome. Your questions are brilliant. And then I look at your questions and I see it and I say, you know what? People can change. You've got to remind yourself that you can. You can change. Your desire to change is stronger than your desire to remain the same. So then you'll move in the direction you say you want to move in and do so confidently. That's why I said you don't try to do it, you practice. Oh, thanks, Jay. Jay is throwing confetti, y'all. I love it. Aw, Denise. Thank you. It's just law, though. It's just the law. I'm just teaching you the law so that now when you sit there and you say, well, okay, what do I want to do here? You don't just keep sitting there and do nothing. You are deciding what you want to do always. And if you need assistance, you say, oh, you know what? I could really use some help with this. I need somebody to help me do this. As soon as you've said that, you created an assistant. Next thing you know, somebody call you, hey, girl, what you doing? And you're like, well, I'm tidying up. Oh, I got some free time. Oh, look, fancy that. You got to help her. So be encouraged. You have exactly what it takes inside of you. So the law tells you successful. You want to be successful. Well, then you are as within, so without. Now you're not, when you go out there, your mind isn't working against you because you're going to hear all kinds of things. Psst, what's the point? You know how hard smoking is to quit. You know that. Oh, you think you can make a change now? Hey, your body's all messed up now. It doesn't matter. You may as well keep doing what you're doing. These are things, hey, Asonia, those are things that you hear in your mind all the time. But now that you know the law, what are you going to do when you hear that thought that comes up? You're going to tell yourself, oh, I know what that is. That's just what they say statistically. But I don't follow statistics, I rise above them. And you begin to talk to yourself in a positive way. You begin to cheer yourself on. You begin to say, I am successful because the law says I am successful. That's what you say to yourself. That's what you do. And you rock with it and you go with the law because now you know that you're successful. Nobody has to tell you that you're successful. You just know you are because the law says that you are. As within, so without. Right? So, what are you focused on? You're focused on success, you're focused on your health. Well, then you can only become it. So, that's why you stay focused on the desired outcome instead of complaining about how many times you failed. That's it. See? Yes, Denise, you know what? It is simple. But we get discouraged and we think, oh, I'm no good, I can't. And we get like that. And that's okay. But you're going to have to get up from there. Yeah, it's okay to acknowledge where you're at because polarity tells you to. Polarity tells you to be honest with yourself. Where are you? And what are you doing? And then it says, where would you like to be and what would you like to be doing instead? See, it's always cheering you on. Go, Jay, go, Jay, go, Jay. See, the law is always cheering you on. Not because it cares, but because that's what it does. It is unconditional love every single step of the way and always with your success at heart. How do you know? Because it tells you if you say you are successful, well, then I will make you successful because it is law. So that is what will get you through the day because it's not every day you're going to be happy. It's not every day you're going to be sad. You're not on a roller coaster, right? You're not on a roller coaster. But what you do have is the knowing of the law. And because you know the law and you apply the law, you can circumvent emotions. You don't have to have your emotions rule you. You get up and you say, oh my God, you know what? I can't today. But what do I know? Oh, well, the law says that's within, so without. Well, okay. What do I want to accomplish? And you get up and you do that. You don't have to feel good about it. Just get up because you know the law. Jay, you are successful indeed. And you got to say that with your whole chest. I am successful. You know how Optimus says, I am Optimus Prime. That's how you got to say it. The law does not make cowards of anyone. The law makes champions of people. The law makes courageous warriors of people. So when you say, I am successful, mm, whew, you better say it like you mean it. And you know that you are because the law tells you that you are. Every cause. So your cause is what? You look back and you say, oh, I'm not happy about that. I want this instead. Health instead? Then you are successfully healthy, my dear darling. Then begin to behave like someone who is successfully healthy. Because that's what you'd be doing, isn't it? Exactly. So there. I'm not going to hold you all up anymore because you know what time it is. It's 10 after 7 for me, and my phone is going to ring shortly. So remember today the all is mind, the universe is a mental creation. As within, so without. As above, so below. Everything vibrates between two poles, a swing to and fro, creating a rhythm, an ebb, and a flow. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. A projection of the will, masculine, giving life, giving form, feminine. Remember that. You may or you may not, it's all good. But one of those will jump out at you: mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, causation, gender. One of them will stand out. And when you do one, you've done them all. Ah, that's it, Jay. Oh my God, I love that question. See, why ups and downs? Because the ups and downs cause and effect. If you allow the emotion to rule you, you will have to be on the roller coaster. But if you remain consistent, meaning you follow the law, right? Because rhythm is always going to be there. So then you develop a rhythm of what? Peacefulness. Because you always have to move. So you know there's always going to be a rhythm. But it's the how you move. You determine how you move by way of the emotions that you have. So if you say you're up one day, and the next day, like, oh, oh, what do you want? You want to remain consistent. So that way, you observe and you examine your situations and you choose the desired effect as opposed to be pulled to and fro by your emotions. Does that make sense, Jay? Oh, I love that question. It was beautiful. Andrea, well, you're welcome, honey, because it is. I'm just telling you the law. not my feelings. The law. The law has no feelings. It just gives you facts. Gives you facts. Yeah? So, you all know where you can find me in my link tree. All platforms that I'm on, they're under there. You can slide into my DMs, whichever one you follow me on, or you can click on the envelope to email me if you have questions. Tonight, 9:45 p.m., we have Hit the Bowl. Yes, we are. It's a Tibetan bowl, and we just relax in there. We begin to feel our success in there. Oh, we just allow the bowl to soothe us because vibration, right? Vibration helps. Yes, you can, Jay. Yeah, you can. It is it is your habits that decide the rhythm. This is what I mean when I say the law governs. So however you decide to move is the rhythm you will create. Hmm. There's some rhythms that are there already. Night and day, the seasons. That's it, Jay. Like a musician playing at tempo. Yes, you set the pace. You set the rhythm of how you want your life to be, right? Because the rhythm that's there, the high tide, low tide, the seasons, right? That's above. So now what's below that? You. So you set the rhythm of how you want your life to go. You see, you march to the beat of your own drum. Hmm? That's what that means. Set your own rhythm for how you want your life to be. That's how it is. That's how it is. Oh, and for those of you in law school, uh, I'll send out the link. It'll be posted in Patreon. Um, the link, I'll email it to you. Uh, yeah, because that is coming up on the 28th, is it? No, it might. 30th? I think it's the 30th. But I'll post the link so you guys know when the next class is. Because remember, so get your questions in for that hermetic philosophy. Get your questions in so that when we do the live stream, we can answer the questions from there. Alrighty, my beautiful friends. And you know how it is. Parting really is such sweet sorrow, but I'll be here. I'll be around. You're welcome, Jay. I trust that it lights the path for you and that you can do it every single day because you deserve all good things in life. How do you know? Because you can get them to yourself. Oh, it's a law. It is. You are so welcome, Jay. And it was so, so good to connect with you here live. It really was. Yes. Alrighty then, my beautiful friends. I will see you tonight if you're available. Yeah, if you go through, there's an upcoming thingy. It'll be under live on my YouTube channel, and you'll see it. You can click on notify me, right? And when the notification goes out, you'll be informed of when that hit the bowl is. Alrighty then. I love you. 2, 1. Much, much, much love to you all.